And first person that I'd like to just thank is Kathy Farmer, the manager of the Trust. Obviously, without her support, help and hard work, you wouldn't all be here tonight. So to Kathy, thank you very much indeed for all of your hard work, wherever you are. I think I'd also like to pay tribute and mark the graft and tireless work that Susie contributes to the Trust. And Susie's over here. I know she hates these events, never wants to speak, and hates anybody really talking about her, but she's the absolute lifeblood of this charity, and we would have nothing if it wasn't for Susie. So a round of applause for Susie. As you know, Susie set the Trust up in 1996 after the death of John in Croatia in 1995. We couldn't let an event pass without obviously mentioning John and his memory. And I've said before and talked about the fact that John always looked out for other young journalists, and also himself wanted the support of colleagues to give him advice, and he sometimes couldn't find it, and that's why we run the mentoring scheme, which supports every year young journalists, linking them up with senior journalists in the industry from a different organisation. And I think that's the really crucial thing. There's lots of organisations represented in the room that run internal mentoring schemes, but what we do, which I think is different, is that we allow people to come together from different organisations. I've been a mentor. I was a mentor at the time I was at ITV, and it was great to be able to go to Salford and have a little nose around Media City and go and visit my mentee. And I learned enough in that year that I've been able to bring into my career. So I think it's that two-way relationship between mentor and mentee, and it is great to hear that some relationships are still continuing, of mentoring relationships that have gone before, and it's great to see some of this year's current mentees and mentors together getting on and seemingly some good stuff. The other thing that obviously I'd like to just mention is the expansion of the Trust work. That's been something that we've been working towards and has been possible thanks to extra money that we've received from Sky News and specifically from John Riley, who can't be with us tonight, but his support, which is about diversity in newsrooms. And that's a mentoring scheme which I know Charlene's going to touch upon, but effectively that's about bringing together people from difficult socio-economic backgrounds and trying to give them an idea that there is a career in journalism, in the media out there. And that's something that we really want to expand, which we can only do bluntly with more money, which is something that we need to work on. The other people that I just need to mention and thank are our other generous donors. Obviously Vodafone have been very, very good donors to us over the year, thanks to the relationship with Matt Peacock. Matt's no longer with Vodafone, but has now joined us on the Trust, which is great, a link with John. And obviously we've also had Kate Riley join us, formerly of the BBC, which is great, and Nick Pollard, also formerly of Sky News, has joined us as a trustee as well, which is great. The other funder that I have to mention, who again can't be with us tonight, is money-saving expert himself, Martin Lewis. And one of the things he gave us some money for, which I was really, really happy about, which is he funds support for our mentees who are working in the regions to come to some of our events. That's events like tonight, so that's to fund travel, accommodation costs. It's also to fund them coming to some of our masterclasses. We also ran a masterclass this week with Google Labs. We've run them at CNN. David Dimbleby did a masterclass, and to try and encourage that it's not just about London, which is another issue clearly that the industry has had. The final thank you is to Jonathan Charles and for the support of the bank here. Without the bank support and the support of his colleague Tina as well, you would be going hungry and thirsty tonight. These events are not cheap to put on, and we are incredibly grateful, Jonathan, for your continuing support, because it helps us to be able to use our money elsewhere. So really massive thanks from all of us. And finally, my last job is to introduce Charlene. It's great to have Charlene with us. She's going to tell us a bit more about the Trust and obviously her experience in the industry. She's known to all of us, and when I worked with her, it was at ITV News. She was the first black woman to ever present the news on ITV at 10 o'clock, which, you know, fantastic. On this year's Power List of most influential black professionals in the UK. And if you haven't been, you must go. There's a brilliant exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery, which is called Black is the New Black, and there is a lovely picture of Charlene. So enough from me, now over to Charlene. Thank you very much.